What's up, interwebs? Welcome to the Story Time Podcast. I'm Tim.
I'm Adam.
This is where we go through one of my old novels, and Adam reads a chapter, and then we talk about it. This is season 2, and we're going through my second novel I ever wrote, the first of a series that only 3 books were ever written of, but multiple drafts, which is called Marks of Eilira, Strangers from Another World. And yeah, so we are on chapter 10. Adam, we're finally in Eilira.
Yeah.
We're finally made it. We're finally in a different world.
It happened.
Yep, so we'll get to see that there. But before we get to the reading, if you go on to enjoy this, we would love it if you would smash that like button and do it. Do it as a prayer for the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because I got writing content on the channel. But also, maybe you're interested in some terrible gameplay. Why don't you go check out Adam's channel?
ZOP Gaming. That's right. We are the kings of being mid at games.
No, you're less than mid. Except for the guy who's playing Red Dead Redemption. Awesome. I mean, he's only died once and failed one mission, so he's pretty cool. Far better than the guy who played Tomb Raider and God of War.
Yeah.
But with all that said out of the way, let's get to the reading and we'll be back to discuss Chapter 10.
10. Journey to Free Mountains. Zach walked out from between the circular light into an open field with Ryan and Alkline standing in front of him. It was hard to believe that Zach was in another world since it looked exactly like a field on Earth. The sky was blue, the grass was green, and it did feel like home, but Zach knew he was not. As he took in his new environment, he did not notice that the gate had closed. After looking around, he saw that Ryan was feeling similar thoughts about this place. All was good until Alkline. "This is not good," said Alkline. "We're on the north side of the crumbling mountain." "Why is that bad?" asked Ryan. "Because we're about a 4-day journey south to the Free Mountains," said Alkline. "What?" shouted Zach. "Why didn't you open a gateway right to the place we needed to go?" "Calm down," said Alkline. "It is impossible to open a gate to a specific place without using a coin." "Why didn't you use one then?" "Zach, calm down," said Ryan. "Alkline did what he could." "Did what he could?" said Zach. "Because of him, we're going to be 2 days late to save Violet." "Will you let me finish?" said Alkline. "I couldn't use a coin to get us there because the other coin would have had to be located in the mountains, and there is none. Not one I have. When opening a gate without a coin, you open the gate to the location where you are in one world to the same location in the other world. You should feel lucky we did not end up in the ocean." Zach tried to calm down, but he was not happy with the news. He did not want Violet to die because of some stupid mistake by Alkline. "If we're 4 days from the Free Mountains," said Zach, "how are we going to save Violet from getting killed?" "Easy," said Alkline. "Gamgee will not kill her after 2 days. Sphere won't let him. They need to know for sure that you're not coming. So maybe after a week they might. But the whole point is they have no clue where we will arrive, as well as how long it will take us to get to the Free Mountains." Zach realized he had overreacted for no reason, and that by doing that, he was wasting time that they could be using to head for the mountains. "Okay," said Zach. "So what are we going to do?" "Since it's so late in the afternoon," said Alkline, "I say we head for Shorn, stay there for the night, and then head for Derail. We should be able to get there in 2 days, and then from there to the Free Mountains." "Sounds like a plan," said Ryan. "I agree," said Zach. "Lead the way." So with the plan set, Alkline headed northwest, more west than north, and Zach did not understand why they were heading north rather than south. That was the direction Alkline had said the mountains were located. After about 20 minutes of walking, Zach had enough of going in the wrong direction. He stopped moving, and as Ryan and Alkline kept moving, after a few minutes, they realized Zach was back about 100 yards, so they headed back to see what was wrong. "What's wrong?" said Alkline. "Nothing really," said Zach. "You were just going in the wrong direction." "Zach," said Ryan, "you don't need to yell." "Sure I do," said Zach, "since he has no clue what he's doing. The Free Mountains are south and we're heading northwest." "That's it," said Alkline in a stern voice. I've had it with your whining and complaining. You've been here for 20 minutes, and that is all that has come out of your mouth. The reason we're heading northwest is that that's the direction Shorn is in. And the reason we are going there first is because I do not have enough equipment or food. If you keep this up, I'm going to send you back home and get Violet without you. Zach said nothing, and Alkline, Ryan, and Zach headed on their way. Zach was not happy with how Alkline had yelled at him. As far as he was concerned, it was his and DeMarcus's fault that Violet got kidnapped, and he should be trying to make it up to him. For the whole trip to Shorn, he did not say anything else to Alkline. He just wanted to get where they were going so they could get to the Free Mountains and make the switch and then go home, leaving this all behind him. The trip took about 5 hours to get to Shorn. The sun was close to setting, and Zach and Ryan were very hungry. Once in the small city, they went and found a place to stay. As they walked around the city, Zach and Ryan got all kinds of looks. Their clothes made them stand out. After about an hour, they found an inn that had a room with enough beds. After paying for the room, they found a place to eat. Alkline paid for everything since they did not have any money that would be accepted. Once they ordered their food, they found a table and sat down. Enjoy this meal, 'cause it'll be the last good one you get to Dyril, said Alkline. It is going to take 2 days to get there, so we will be eating whatever we can find in the wild, as well as what I buy. As long as it's edible, I'll eat it, said Ryan. Zach did not say anything. He was still mad at how Alkline yelled at him and did not want to talk to him ever again, but he knew that would not happen, so he wanted to not talk to him until he had to. A few minutes after they sat down, their food came and they ate. Ryan got some kind of meat, as did Zach. Alkline ordered something that looked like chicken. A little nervous about what they might be eating, they were both hesitant to try it. Ryan took the first bite and found it tasted good, so Zach tried and he liked it as well. After eating, Zach and Ryan found themselves about to fall asleep. The long walk was more than they had ever done in one day. They headed back to the inn and went up to the room and crashed in their beds. Alkline was happy to see this since they were going to be getting up early. Within minutes of their heads touching the pillows, they were both out. The next thing they knew, Alkline was waking them up to get ready to go. Get up, said Alkline, shaking Zach. We need to get moving. What time is it? Asked Ryan, rubbing his eyes. About 5 in the morning, answered Alkline. I have some good news. What is it? Asked Zach, sitting straight up like he had been awake for hours. I found a boat rental that'll allow us to sail downriver, said Alkline. We'll be able to get closer to the mountains by tomorrow evening. Great, said Zach. When do we leave? As soon as you guys eat and get dressed, said Alkline. Dressed? Said Ryan, sitting up. We're already wearing our clothes. Exactly my point, said Alkline, throwing Ryan and Zach a pair of clothes rolled up. Yesterday, you were getting stares from everyone we passed. You need to blend in. The last thing we need is having someone decide to cause troubles because you look different. What do we do with the clothes we are wearing? Asked Zach. Just put the other clothes on over them, said Alkline. So that's what they did. They got out of bed, unrolled the clothes, and quickly put them on. The clothes looked close to what Alkline was wearing, just not a cloak and a sword at their side. Zach's pants were black, as his tunic was white and his jacket dark green. Ryan had the same thing, just his jacket was navy blue. Once they put their boots on, they headed back to the place where they had dinner and got breakfast. Zach and Ryan were both surprised to see the place open already. They ordered eggs and got them very quickly since they were the only ones there. Zach and Ryan practically swallowed the whole plate they ate so fast. They did not realize how hungry they were until they smelt the food being cooked. Once Alkline finished his food, they were on their way to the boat rental. They walked several blocks and turned onto different streets before they reached the boat rental. It took them about an hour to get there. Right next to the boathouse was a large river that was moving at a slow pace. When they reached the boat rental, Alkline approached the man who worked there, who was shocked to see people out and about. Good morning, said the boatman. I didn't see people out about this early. True, said Alkline, but when you have a long journey ahead of you, you want to get going as soon as possible. That's it. How can I help you? Said the boatman. We'd like to rent a boat, said Alkline. That is obvious, said the boatman. Why else would you be talking to me this early? Where are you going? Gayu, said Alkline. Well, that's far, said the boatman. Like you said, you have a far journey. I'm going to be costing about 72 kev.
That's highway robbery,
said Alkaline. No, it isn't. It's a fair price for what you're heading, said the boatman. It's enough to have a new boat made after you leave. Rarely see the boats rented out that head to Gale. Most of the time, they stop halfway and the boat take with them. So you can either take it or leave it, but I can assure you that you'll not find a price cheaper in Chorn or a boat store that is open this early.
Fine,
said Alkaline. Alkaline reached into his cloak, pulled out a big bag, reached inside, and pulled out 3 purple gemstones, roughly the size of a quarter, and handed them to the boatman. Once he had them, he looked at them to make sure they were real, and then placed them in his pocket. Follow me, said the boatman. The 3 of them followed him around the back of his shop into a wooden deck that came to an end with a ladder that led down onto a dock with about 10 boats of different sizes, all tied to different posts. Once they were all down on the dock, the boatman took them over to a boat that could easily hold 5 people. Alkaline placed his bag into the boat and got on. Then Ryan followed, then Zach. Once in the boat, they sat down and found some paddles under their seats so they could get out to the current as well as get back shore when they wanted to land. You're going to have to paddle upstream for about a quarter mile before you come to the stream that will take you to Gale, said the boatman. Once you get to Gale, look for a dock with a sign that says Gale Boat Rentals. It's the first dock as you come downstream. It's my brother's shop, and you can leave a boat with him. Have a nice trip.
Thank you,
said Alkaline as he picked up one of the paddles and handed it to Ryan.
You two will paddle us upstream.
Why us? Said Zach.
Because you begged to come,
said Alkaline.
You're gonna have to be useful.
Zach was beginning to not like Alkaline and thought about not talking to him. He took the other paddle and placed it in the water. The boatman untied the boat and threw the rope into the water. Zach and Ryan started to paddle the boat out into the stream. At first, it was not hard, but once out in the current, they found it much harder to keep the boat from going with the current. From the surface, the river did not look like it would have such a strong current, but it did. It took them nearly an hour to make the quarter mile to the joint they needed to get to. Once they got to the turn, they started to turn the boat towards it. They thought it was going to be hard, but once the boat started to turn, it caught the current, and the boat was pulled down the stream. Zach and Ryan threw the paddles back into the boat and rested. Their muscles were burning from all the work, and Alkaline just laughed.
What are you laughing about?
Asked Zach.
Just that you were tired from a little rowing,
answered Alkaline.
Kids your age would have been able to get us to this point in 10, maybe 15 minutes. I bet you guys do that much work in a day.
Yeah, said Ryan. So what if we do?
Nothing,
said Alkaline.
You're going to be going through a lot more over the next few days. I would take this day to save your energy. Today, you get off easy.
Zach and Ryan did not understand what Alkaline meant by that, but they would. The journey to Geu took all day. For the first part of the trip, Ryan and Zach slept. They were just not ready to get up when they did. But now they could get more. They only slept about 2 hours. The hardwood was not very comfortable to sleep on. When they woke up, Alkaline was busy writing something in a book, which he did for the majority of the trip. 4 hours later, Alkaline had them paddle to the side of the river to get out and stretch their legs, as well as have some lunch. When they made it to shore, they all pulled the boat out of the water. Zach and Ryan wanted to fall on the ground from pulling the boat, but their legs needed to stretch. Nearby the river's edge was a tree that had fallen. Alkaline went over, sat down, put his bag there, then opened it up and pulled out a large knife.
What is that for?
Asked Ryan.
To clean the fish we're going to be having for lunch, said Alkaline. Go find some log sticks that come up to your waist.
Not wanting to argue, Ryan and Zach found 2, and Alkaline took one and began sharpening the tip. After about 10 minutes, the tip on the stick was sharp, and he set the knife down and headed over to the river. He stayed on the shore not to disturb the water. He watched for a few minutes, then pulled back the stick, and then launched it into the water. It hit the water with great force, and Alkaline jumped into the river and walked out to where the stick was floating. On the end of the stick was a huge base. Alkaline grabbed the stick, walked back to the shore, and walked over to them. After grabbing some firewood, Alkaline started the fire and started to cook the base. While it cooked, he went back over and caught one more base about the same size. When the fish were done cooking, they had lunch. Questions had been slowly forming in the minds of Zach and Ryan about what they were going to do. Zach did not want to talk to Alkaline, but his questions were bugging him too much not to. "Who is this sphere guy?" asked Zach. And why did DeMarcus have to steal something from him?
I've been wondering when you two would start asking questions,
Said Alkaline.
I thought it would have been sooner, but with everything that has happened, I can understand why it took this long. Anyway, Sphere is one of the 7 lords who call themselves the 7 Lords of Magi. Over 70 years ago, they showed up and started a war with the High Kingdom, but taking over the realm they were from. Sphere is the Lord of Isashore, where we are. With most of the kingdom under their rule, the High King called the Sentinels a secret army that existed to help fight against them. Over 10 years the war was fought, said Alkaline. The High Kingdom was starting to win the war when they found the location where the 7 lords were hiding. They went into hiding once the High Kingdom started to gain massive victories. Everyone thought that it was because they realized they were going to lose. But when the Sentinels found their location, they found out what they were really doing. They were looking for a way to increase their power, and they did. Using forbidden magic, they made a weapon that gave them all the power they needed to win the war. Since then,
Alkaline continued,
the remaining Sentinels like myself as well as DeMarcus have been fighting them, trying to bring them down. We need our king, who is the first High King, said would come and overthrow the darkness. And this king would use 7 marks that represented each seed of Eilira. Only then he would be able to use them. Knowing this prophecy, the lords took the marks to prevent such a king from having them also. So when this king showed up, he would have to get the marks from them, and they would be able to kill him.
So DeMarcus was trying to get one of these marks back? Asked Ryan.
Not just back,
Alkaline said.
He got it when he ran into problems, which caused him to have to retreat to Earth. That's what Game J has been after this whole time. The mark that lies in the mark on the back of your neck, Zach.
Oh, said Zach. Can't I just give it to him? You guys will be able to get it back.
That's highly doubtful,
said Alkaline.
Sphere will keep watch over that mark until the day every single one of us is gone and pass on to the other lords we are coming for them. They had them for 60 years, and it was the first chance we had to get them back.
It's been 60 years, said Ryan.
Why not wait until they get older, then fight them? They don't get any older, little dude,
said Alkaline.
The forbidden magic that gave them the extra power keeps them from aging.
So, what are you going to do about the mark when we get to the Free Mountains? Asked Zach.
I'm not sure,
said Alkaline.
I'm working on a plan to make sure they don't leave the mountains with it. But enough of this. We've wasted too much time here. We will be lucky if we get to Gayu by sunset.
They got up, stretched, then put out the fire and headed back towards the boat. Alkaline placed his bag into the boat, and then they all pushed off back into the water. Zach and Ryan were happy it was much easier to get the boat into the river than it was to push it out. Once in the river, they jumped back in one at a time and took their seats. Alkaline paddled them out to the current, and they were back on their way. It took another 6 hours before they came to Gayu. A few times they had to paddle because the current was not so strong, which caused it to take them longer to arrive. The sun had already set, but there was enough light for them to before the city would start lighting the street lamps. As soon as they came to Gayu, Ryan and Zach paddled the boat out of the current and found the dock where they were to leave the boat. Once on the dock, a tall man who looked a lot like the other boatman came out, took their rope, and had them pull the boat in and tied the boat up. "It'll cost you 3 ye to tie your boat up on the dock," said the new boatman.
"No, it won't,"
said Alkaline.
"We rented this boat from your brother in Shorn. He told us to leave the boat with you."
"Very well," said the new boatman. The 3 of them climbed off the boat and walked down the dock. Climbed up the ladder. Gayu was a much bigger city than Shorn. Even though the sun had set, a good number of people were still out. Most of them were either heading home or going to the local pub. Alkaline told Zach and Ryan to follow him, so they did as they were told. They did not go very far. They went into the closest pub and got some food. Alkaline got them what they had for dinner last time. After eating, they wandered into the heart of the city until they came to an inn. Alkaline got a room for them, and they headed to the room. Once in the room, Alkaline told them to get some sleep. They're getting up early again. It will take them nearly all day before they reach the Free Mountains, and then left. Zach and Ryan did not feel tired at all, but they decided to change out of their clothes and try. It's not long after they laid their heads on their pillows that they were asleep. Once again, they were woken by Alkaline the next morning, just as early as they were woken up the other day. They both rolled out of bed, still half asleep, and got dressed. But by the time they finished getting dressed, they realized how much awake they were and refreshed. Alkaline led them back to the streets, where they walked around the city until they found a shop that was open. They walked inside, and Alkaline grabbed some food and some blankets for the trip. Zach was not sure why they needed the blankets, since they would reach the mountain today, and one sphere got what he wanted, and Violet was free. They were going home. Zach decided not to ask, since they had a feeling he would get an answer he did not like or not want at all. Also, it was too early to argue. Once Alkaline paid for the supplies, they made their way out of Gayu. It took them nearly an hour and a half to make it to the edge of the city, and as they were leaving the city, it was just starting to spring to life. The three of them headed south, which would take them to the Free Mountains. After a few hours, they would start to see the mountains in the far distance. Since they were walking this time, they would stop every few hours to take a break, get some water that Alkaline had gotten, as well as noon lunch.
What do you think our parents are doing right now?
Asked Ryan.
We've been gone for 2 days, and there's been no word.
I guess they think we either ran away from home or Game G finally caught us, said Zach. Since the condition of Violet's house, they're going to think that is where he got us.
I would worry about your excuse for where you've been until you are actually on your way home,
said Alkaline.
Why's that?
Asked Ryan.
Since you've caused a problem with Game G, said Alkaline, that would mean you were messing with a lord's business. It's likely Sphere will have us all killed once he gets what he wants.
What? Said both Zach and Ryan.
I told you, this was going to be dangerous,
said Alkaline. The rest of the way to the mountains, Zach and Ryan thought about how they might not make it back home. Sure, Game G never said anything like that in his ransom note, but Zach should have known this. It was always in the movies as well as books. The bad guys say they will let you go after bringing the ransom, but they always go back on their word. The trip took the whole day, just like the trip downstream, but that trip was far longer since they were in a boat. The trip to the mountains was long. The whole day, the mountains were at a distance and slowly got bigger and bigger, but it felt like they would never reach them. After walking the whole day and several breaks, they finally came to the base of the first mountains, the one Game G told them to go to. The sun was starting to set, and Alkaline knew they would not have enough time to get up the mountain before it got dark.
We'll camp down here tonight,
said Alkaline.
In the morning, we'll climb the mountain and get Violet back.
Why not climb now? Asked Zach. The sun is just starting to set, and we have more than enough time.
It'll be too dark by the time we get to the top,
said Alkaline.
We will never get back down.
That doesn't matter, said Zach. We're going home once we have Violet. Alkaline did not want to go up the mountain, but Zach kept arguing with him and finally gave in, and they headed up the mountain. They were to go to the top of the mountain. Luckily for them, it was not far to go. There was a path that took them to the top, but as they climbed, the light was quickly getting darker.
Why are these mountains called the Free Mountains?
Asked Ryan as they headed up the mountain.
It is where the first High King and his 6 trusted men defeated the Dark Emperor Hellion at the end of the 4th Age,
said Alkaline. What age are we in now? Asked Zach.
The 6th,
said Alkaline.
It might seem like Eilira has not been around for a while, but many, many years have passed in each age.
After 2 hours, they finally reached the top of the mountain, and all the natural light was almost gone. The top was very large, rocky edge. It wasn't the top. The mountain kept going, but they would never be able to get to it. And if they could, it would not be a place big enough to meet. So this had to be where Game G wanted to meet. They began searching for the metal that would summon Game G. Not sure what it would look like or big, and with the light failing, they had to look fast. After 10 minutes, Ryan was walking and kicked some rocks when a piece of metal flew into the air and landed a few feet from him. It was about the size of a dollar bill, and when it hit the ground, it made a small cling noise. Zach walked over to the piece of metal and touched it like he was told. Suddenly, a bright flash of light appeared at the other end of the mountain, and when the light cleared, there stood Game G holding Violet. But there was someone else there. It was Game G's master, Sphere.
All right, Adam, so let's talk about this. So, nothing happened.
Really, yeah, nothing happened.
All right, thank you for listening, guys.
All right.
Maybe we probably should really discuss
all right,
what
fine.
Actually, well, events happened, but plot-wise?
No, nothing happened.
mean, we got some information.
I mean, we got introduced to two of the greatest characters in this book already.
Boatman 1 and Boatman 2.
Yes. And his brother, Boatman 2.
Yeah,
That's what their parents named them.
No, we actually got some information on background of the conflict.
Kind of.
The Seven Lords of Magi.
It's confusing.
And there are these marks.
Yeah.
So let's just go through the start of that. So we come through, and Zach quickly learns that they are not close to where they're supposed to be.
I mean,
and he's not happy about it. He becomes a whiny little bitch.
by the way, I like the fact that Alcyon.
Alcyon.
Yeah.
You just like messing that name up, don't you?
Don't worry, it'll get better. I love the fact that he's like, at least we didn't end up in the ocean.
I know.
And you're like, oh yeah, because that
could
it's
happen.
a direct spot that you open your stuff. You would think that he'd be like, hey, look, it'd probably be best if we didn't. What was it? When he tries to talk them out of going up the mountain, and Zach's like, we'll just get up there, get Violet, and get out of there right away. I immediately, because Alcline already said that where you open it up will be matched on the other world.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to be on a mountain. Is there a mountain in the other spot? I hope so. Otherwise, they're going to open up and be like, oh, crap, it's so high in the air.
You could make a case that it will open up on the...
And that might be why he's like, I didn't want to open it up on the second floor of your house because we'd have to jump a floor down.
Well, technically the case is made already because they're on a mountain here, a crumbling mountain, and they're on the low end of a mountain
Yeah.
on Earth. So it can justify to land base enough.
I don't know.
So, but I would have been like this, so you see that over there? That's an ocean. About a mile more that, like 200 feet that way, 1,000 feet that way, and we'd be in the ocean right now.
All right, fine. Also, yeah, Zach, totally the brattiest brat that has ever bratted in this chapter
yeah.
episode.
Yeah, he like I told you, he's a whiny little bitch.
Oh my god! At least, but at the beginning, it kind of made sense where he was like, "We were told 2 days, and you're telling us it's a 4-day travel. What the hell, bro? She's gonna die." And then Alcyon's like, don't worry about it. They won't actually do that. They'll probably wait a week for us to show up, and then they might decide.
See, like, my thing would be like, if Gamgee would be like, Gamgee just wrote that to get you to go.
Yeah, that was.
He's not gonna be able to touch her without Lord Sphere, and Gamgee, he's the muscle. He's not very smart.
He's not the brains. We already know that too.
We already know that. So he's not gonna touch her. But like a week from now, and we still haven't shown up, or they know you're still over there and you're having to try to come, then they might.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, by the way, that line where Zach says when he first comes through there, like, it feels like home. Pretty sure that was deliberate for some reason, but maybe not. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think that could be hinting at something. It was supposed to be hinting at something further down the line, but I'm not sure. Honestly, but I feel like reading and knowing the story I was going for, maybe it could have been, but who knows? But yeah, Zach's a whiny little bitch. And so here's our Zach logic.
Yeah.
It's not the best, one of the best ones, but it's still some Zach logic in there. Zach's logic is like, yes, it's Alcline and DeMarcus's fault for Violet being kidnapped when it was only DeMarcus who put the mark on your neck. Zach logic.
Yep.
It's totally both your faults.
It's both of your fault. You guys could have prevented this from happening completely, but you decided to steal the mark and then have to run to our world, and then I got the mark put on my neck. This is a lot of bullshit. That's what it is. It's almost like they moved to Plan C, which was improvise.
That's not a plan C. That's you're just improvising.
They're like, I don't care. Open a portal. Go. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. But it's just, and then Zach just getting annoyed. Like, oh, we're 20 minutes. He takes 20 minutes and we're going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And he throws another little tantrum.
Just stop.
He's like,
I'm not going any further.
so instead of throwing a little tantrum, why not go, hey, why are we going this direction when we're supposed to go that direction?
You said the mountains are south of here. Why are we going northwest? Mostly west.
Well, that's where Shorn is. Oh, but why were we going there?
Why are we going
Because
to
that's
Shorn?
the closest civil city or place to stay.
Okay, that makes sense.
He still wouldn't have been happy about it, but it's would have been bad. But no, he's a whiny little bitch.
Yeah, throws a hissy fit.
But they get there, and I love how it's mentioned that Alkaline pays for everything because they have money that they would not be accepted. So Zach and Ryan brought their wallets.
Yeah.
Apparently.
No. Come on, dude. They were getting ready for school. Of course, they have their
No,
stuff
they
on them.
weren't. They weren't ready for school.
Yeah, they were.
At the beginning.
Oh yeah, no, they'd gone home.
They skipped. So
They were just hanging out at the house.
yeah. So I mean, they could have, but it's still, it's like, why would you even think
I don't
that?
know.
I was like, obviously.
They're like, hold on, I have to grab my wallet in case I need to spend any money. And they're like, you only have a debit card. Stop it. And you're like, fair.
I'm certain that was there more of me thinking that it needs an explanation, and it's not needed. It's Alkaline paid for everything. Okay, we don't need to like. I didn't need to go on this small little tangent about them having money that wouldn't be accepted. It was just no.
I also like the fact that I have a copy of the map
Yep.
here. That they had to cross a river that they ended up going back down to be able to get from the crumbling mountain to Shorn.
Yep.
I mean, they were right on a river already. They
But
could
where's the boat? Where's the boat?
You would think that there would be somebody near, that there would be another city on the coast.
Apparently not.
Okay.
Also, it was late, so Alkaline.
I'm just saying.
So, but yeah, I know. There's a lot of logic gaps in this about the travel. Could you tell like this was my first time using actual maps as part of my running process. So just trying to figure out things, how rivers work, not even considered.
No.
Nope. It was like a 90-degree drop cut for one of those rivers.
Not just that, the entire current changes
Yep.
somehow.
Mm.
All right.
Apparently the ocean is flowing into the river and not the river is flowing to the
According
ocean.
to your map, they
Yep.
would have to be flowing inland instead of
Yep.
out.
Yep. That's how rivers work, Adam.
Yeah, it's a magical world, man.
Yeah, it's
they can
magic.
do whatever they want.
I can do whatever the fuck I want, bro. But yeah, so they get there. One thing I've noticed, it's one of my notes down here later on, but I like to say it's an hour later, or took an hour to get there. A lot in this chapter.
Yes.
But like the food, going there. The one thing I stick with this motif through all the drafts and version of this story. When Zach goes to sleep, once they get to here, it's like waking up. You put your head down, and you're waking up because they are just conk out. It's a consistent thing I've played through all the versions of the story.
Yep.
Because my idea is, no, you're not used to this. You're gonna be tired. You're gonna conk out.
Well, yeah, not just that, but like he immediate the first one makes sense.
Yep.
You know, they had to do a lot of work on the boat ride.
Yep. Well, no, I mean the walk to Shorn.
Yeah, the walk to shore. So that one totally makes sense. The boat ride, they would have rested up while going with the current.
Yep.
And then
They had to use. They had to row. Once they got to get out of the current. Once they got
that's
to
not
Gaia.
that difficult though.
These are Earth boys. They're not used to this kind of crap.
I guess whatever.
But also, you could also make the argument that they're still not recovered from the night before.
Right. And it's a different world, and they're just like, what the hell is
Yep.
going on?
So, but no, it is.
It's
But-
like doing a lot of travel. It's tiring, even though you're either just sitting in an airplane, a bus, a train, or a car. It's still tiring.
Yep. So the thing is, I actually thought for sure I was gonna throw you, not throw you, but you were gonna be thrown by the name of the currency, one of the pieces, the quid, not the quid,
Quiv?
the quiv,
Kiv?
the kiv or something like that. I can't remember how I pronounced it. I spelled it. But you just went right through it. I'm like, okay, you nailed it. Because some of the things not in chapter 11, chapter 12, I think we get a full-on tutorial on how the currency
Okay. All right.
with all the different names.
Yeah, but
Which you're gonna look at and like, why? Even if you nail them, you're gonna be like, why?
Why did you do that to me?
Why? No, not just why you did it to me. Why did you go that? 'Cause
Why did you need to explain it that much?
No, just the names, like
Okay.
the naming conventions, is like, because it's a fantasy world, right? That was my mind frame behind it.
Yeah, but we don't need that lore.
No, you need that lore. I like that stuff. I have every currency of every realm, as well as the high kingdom, the equivalency to a high kingdom.
The High Kingdom?
No, the high kingdom.
No,
There-
bro. It's the High Kingdom.
And just because you're high right now doesn't mean it's the high
When am I
kingdom.
not, okay? Honestly.
Work.
When am I not? Fair.
That you know of. It's like,
No. That's just a rule that I have.
no. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things where it's like, but yeah, I went through it because like, at the time I was reading Pendragon by DJ McHale, and he actually put out a compendium, a little picture book for, of information, pictures of things that are from each realm,
Okay.
each not realm, territory, and he had the money system for it, and I just
cool.
copied that, how he did that.
All right.
There is no rhyme or reason for the number of what equal what. It was just like, cool, this works, that works, yep. And I have a huge title that links how everyone links up to the one. I think the High Kingdom's like their dollar
Yeah.
is an Anoi, AOIN or AION. I can't remember how it's spelled.
Aeon?
Aeon?
Oh, why would you do that to me?
I don't remember how I spell. I know it's spelled like, but like I have one how each
The Ian. No, like, that's not even close.
So basically, every realm's dollar equals to the High Kingdoms. I had that figured out.
Okay.
Some get really expensive,
But
and
why?
because I wanted to, because I wanted to have money in there for some reason. Not an economic person, not an economic nerd. Don't always understand the economics, but like, cool, let's do it. And if you maybe in the wrap up episode, I'll bring that and we can go through in the description of every single dollar. Because it's not, some are jewels, some are just cloth, different shapes of cloth. Like I
Okay.
went weird, like with some ones are different versions of the same of what the currency looked like. I could not tell you why.
All right.
I'm like, this one I want this one, I'm gonna do this one. This one I'm gonna do that one. Yep. But yeah, so they eventually we have the travel there. By the way, I should have mentioned this before. I'm almost certain
Yeah.
the map will be on the screen now. So if you're listening,
Okay.
watching this on YouTube, you'll actually be able to see the map. And I'm gonna try to have the journey animate, or at least you'll see the path appear on screen. Maybe I'll just do the easy one and just fade to it. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That's less work. And you'll see the path that they take on screen. But anyway, but yeah, other than that, we basically get some background on them during their lunch break.
Oh, yeah.
But by the way, hold on, I have to know here. By the way, did you notice the typical YA trope I did here? In this
What was
chapter?
that?
Typical YA trope of cutting off important information to keep going when you have all the time in the world to keep talking. after at lunch when Alkalin's talking about the lords and all that, he says, "Oh, that's too much. We gotta get going." Back on a boat when you can keep fucking talking.
When all you have to do is just, we'll keep talking. Let's just get the boat ready.
Nope, but we got the why. Nope, you gotta cut that off. I've said too much.
Well, I mean,
But why is that too much?
much like in film, when you have two people who are like, hey, we got to get down to the boss's shop. And then the next thing you see is him explaining why they're at the shop when they pull up to the shop. And you're like, you could have had a conversation in the
Yep.
car. And they're like, no, we sat there in silence.
I have a no talking rule in my car.
As soon as we get there. Okay. Now, the boss really wants to hear from you regarding. It's like, you could have told me that in the car.
We were in the car. While we were driving, you know my rule. No talking while driving.
No talking while driving. The radio's on, no one's talking.
Yeah, and the radio was on.
The radio is on.
You just turned it on and then off. It was on at some point in the car, so no
I turned
talking.
it way down, though.
Yeah, it was way off. No, but it was on.
They were playing Def Leppard.
But yeah, it was just like one of these things where it's just like that trope. And there's also a bunch of head hopping.
Yep.
Some of the head hopping, I'm not sure it was necessarily head hopping. It's supposed to be taken as Zach being able to tell that Ryan's thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's written in a way, it's basically,
It's written in a way that, like,
we're in two heads at once.
Zach is like, I could hear his voices in his head.
Or that-
They talk to me. They don't understand.
That-
they don't talk to me.
Or that we're in two heads at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a new thing for me, apparently. But yeah, like that. it's just-
Third party omniscient would know that.
Also, really, Alkaline? Come on. No haggling about the pro price.
No, none.
Nope. Oh, you won't find a better price anywhere else. Deal.
That's highway robbery. I'll take it anyway.
Yep, you're right. Oh, wait, going to other places will be like work, so okay. Pulls out this giant bag of
Boatman is the greatest character. I cannot tell you what was going through my head the moment that I was like, I'm making this character. Because there's a little bit of Irish, there's a little bit of Scottish, a little bit of Eastern Canadian, a little bit of Maine.
deep Maine.
By the way, state, little bit of information about that. The only state that borders only one other state.
Mm-hmm.
You don't drive through Maine to go somewhere else.
Nope.
You drive into Maine to drive into Maine. That's it.
Yep. Also, the logic of Alkaline telling, just put these clothes over your other clothes. Nah, it's gonna be hot.
Here's a lot of extra clothes. Now, in my head, it was basically like a pants cover, like a much thinner pant that made it look like you were wearing the pants of the day. And, just a simple tunic that you pull over.
Nope.
But like,
It's
no,
pants.
no, it's,
No, the
it's
tunic.
not-
The tunic was right.
Yeah.
The pants, no, they're dead on pants and boots.
yeah.
So where did they put their shoes?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that I have a problem with, but it's okay.
My funny thing is getting the supplies the next day once I get the Gayu, and they have sleep and everything. Like Alkaline left. Why didn't he do that? Go get the stuff beforehand.
I don't know.
Apparently he's like, nope, I'm gonna do it now. I was going and getting laid. I was dealing with these brats. Not these brats. This brat, pointing to Zach,
And the
all night.
idiot. And his idiot friend.
And his
talking
logical,
about, man?
his logical but idiot friend, all day. I need to blow off some fucking steam. I went to the whorehouse, and I bought.
He went back to the pub.
I bought all of them.
They paid me at the end of the night.
Yeah.
They were like, you know what? Here's some extra money and your money back.
But,
It's like, thanks.
but Adam, remember.
They're like, no, thank you.
No, remember, Adam. This is supposed to be an allegory for Christ's return. So Alkaline, who's a good guy, would never go have sex outside of marriage. Ever.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, doing that.
No, he just went out and got supplies. He was like, all right, I didn't want to pick them up in Shorn because it was going to be too much to try to carry them there. But so I'll pick them up here and then we'll be all set. He's he's like a Boy Scout.
And also Zach and Ryan figuring out that the danger that they might all be just killed before they go off the mountain. I'm like,
Yep.
I think it's like,
I love the fact that Alkaline dropped that last minute.
Yeah,
He's
it's
like, oh yeah, they're probably gonna do that too.
also it's like, what did Zach think when Alkaline meant is going to be dangerous? Gamgee's always try to kill him and Ryan, both of them at different times.
Yep.
So did he really think his master was going to be any different? Really?
No. Thank you very much for giving me this mark back. Here's your friend. You guys can just get out of here.
Also, you literally were told on the way here, he's part of the rebel forces fighting against them.
Yep.
So, and then of course he's like, oh yeah, that's right. In the movies, they do this all the time.
Oh, yeah. The bad guys go back on their word. Oh, why didn't I think of that?
And then climbing a really tall mountain in 2 hours.
2 hours.
So how tall is this mountain?
It's got a great staircase.
Because it's not like our mountains we have here, which are rounded. 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You could probably get to the top of it.
On a shorter
No, this
one.
is like we're talking like the
Rockies,
Rockies or something like that.
Swiss
So-
Alps.
Yeah, something like those pointy snow at the top kind of mountains. Maybe not these.
The escalator.
I mean, it is also the one of the small. It's at the end of the chain of mountains.
But still.
But still, 2 hours, but it's almost dark.
They were able to Naruto sprint all the way up the side of it.
And also, why didn't Alkaline use his magic to light the way? Oh, spoiler for what we're gonna see later on in this book. But he doesn't use it here.
What the hell?
Oh, and by the way, did
Yeah.
you notice this? You did not notice this. And
I didn't notice it?
How did you not notice this? How did you not call me out on this, Adam? How dare you not call out me that Gamgee and Lord Spear and Violet were basically just standing around so the minute that thing rang, they could appear
They're like,
ready
"Hey."
to go.
We're here.
So they were just sitting there like, okay, it's been 2 days. Like, don't you have something to do?
No.
It's like, yeah, I do. They really need to hurry up.
They were just like, no, not really. I got
Violet's there going like, you don't know Zach. He's cranky to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
He's like, he's a bull. He's just like slow, like to move. You really gotta motivate him. He's not really happy with me at the moment, so he's
Violet's
probably doesn't
over
really
there
want to.
being like, he's physically slow. Ryan's mentally slow.
But
He's our idiot.
And he's not really happy with me at the moment, so he's probably
Yeah.
wants to teach
I don't
me a
know why
lesson.
you grabbed me.
Yeah. Like he's not happy with me at the moment.
We literally just ended everything with an argument a day ago.
So he's not happy
Wait,
with me.
last night.
Yeah, he's not really
Before
happy
you
with
captured me.
He's not really happy with me, so he's just probably taking his sweet time wanting me to learn a lesson here.
Yeah.
That he didn't know I was going to have to learn because you were going to kidnap me. And Spear's like this. They need to get here so we can get rid of this girl. She's driving me nuts.
She keeps correcting their grammar.
And their posture.
Well, she's like, she's the Hermione of this group.
And also, how are Zach and Ryan understanding people speaking here? It's another world. So they speak English here?
I guess so.
Apparently so. I actually do point that out in later versions. And there's a reason why that they can understand it. There's a reason why Zach can understand it.
Universal translator.
I think in the later drafts, it's pointed out that Zach can understand because of the mark on his neck. And eventually
that makes sense.
And I think eventually it's pointed out. Ryan calls it out, or Alkaline eventually explains that he's using his marks to translate for Ryan. So Ryan can hear it.
Okay.
I think that's it. I
That's
can't
a bit
remember.
much.
And then when it becomes later in the last version of the story, well, I can't go there because a little bit of spoilers, but they don't need Ryan doesn't need a mark. It doesn't need to be translated for. I'm not still gonna say.
What?
But yeah,
Ryan's originally from there, man.
Yep. So it's
Turns
Penny.
out he's actually Alkaline's kid. Lord Spear's kid.
Nope. But so is Penny.
She's Lord Spear's daughter.
Nope.
I know it.
Nope.
By the way, in my head, Lord Spear is just a shadowy figure right now.
Oh, we don't get the better version of Spear in this version. The better version of Spear is hit when they actually have to go to Delirel, and go through the palace and everything. And when he meets Lord Spear, he is sitting.
You mean Dyril?
Nope, Diriel. Diriel.
Dieril.
Diriel.
Dyril.
Diriel.
Which you have spelled early on in that chapter
Diriel.
as derail.
Diriel. But when we meet him in different versions of the story, he's literally sitting on his throne in his palace with his legs over the legs, the armrest of one, his back against there, twirling his scepter.
So, Dr. Frankenstein from Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Never seen it, so I have no clue.
Oh, good sir, you need to watch that.
I'm okay.
You should experience it one day.
Nah. But like, and he gets really obsessed if you leave out his title Lord.
I would purposely be not bring it up.
Oh, Zach learns that like when he, in different versions of the story, once I include that character beat in there for him, Zach starts wondering like, wait, can he hear me? Lord Sphere? Or he'll constantly like, Lord Sphere. He hates it when you drop his name on the Lord. Like, even when he's not around, he's like...
Just for clarification. Oh, man, Sphere's gonna... You mean Lord Sphere?
He hates it when you don't call him Lord.
Yeah. It's like, he's not around. I don't know if he can hear me.
I'm just giving you the heads up here.
I think he can hear us all the time.
I'm just giving you the heads up. But, yeah. But overall thoughts on this chapter?
Not bad.
Nothing happens.
I mean, nothing happens, but the journey happens.
The journey happens, and we get
some exposition.
We get a little experience there, but like events. I'm gonna go on a limb here. You can call me out if I'm wrong.
Okay. Okay.
Chapter 11.
Yeah.
Should be part of this chapter.
But we don't.
I know it's controversial, but I'm gonna just call it.
The only way to find out is by tuning in to the next episode.
Yes.
To listen to chapter 11.
But how would you fix this episode?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I really wouldn't.
I would.
I mean,
know. No, I'm gonna go like my prediction is just make chapter 11 in this chapter.
But we don't know that yet.
Yeah,
we
but
don't
I am just going down with the length of chapter 11 of 3 and a tenth of a page.
I'm looking at it. It's about 3.
3 pages and a tenth of the 4th page long. It should be part of this chapter.
Yeah, okay.
It's another prologue.
You mean episode 1?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the actual first chapter being a prologue.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's a prologue in the middle of the... It's an interlude.
It's an interlude.
That completely goes with what's going on in the book. But yeah, that was how... and maybe tighten up some things. Maybe give us descriptions of the town, the cities that we visit and stuff like that. But other than mostly just bring this here, I think the reason why when I was writing this, and I did this a lot in Marks to Eilira, not so much. Some when I got to the Veil trilogy, but not as much. I will have an outline. But I'll write to a point. I'm like, when I'm writing it out, like, no, this feels like the natural stopping point. This would be a good. That next point will be a good starting point for the next chapter, or next scene, or something. So I'll do a breaking point there. That's the only thing I could think of that. But it's probably was also labeled as its own chapter. I don't know. It's been so long, but yeah, my thing is just bringing chapter 11 into chapter 10.
But we're only talking about chapter 10.
Yeah. But that's all I'm saying. Is I'd bring that chapter in.
Stop referencing another one that we haven't listened to yet.
I'm saying that's how I'd fix this chapter.
Ah, okay, whatever.
I'm not talking actually about it. I'm saying I'd just bring that in. That's how I'd fix it.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
I'm also the author, so that kind of matters, bro.
Does it?
Yes, bro. Anything else you want to add to this?
No, we need more of the boatsmen. Oh, and we need way more Highlander.
You haven't said that in a few episodes.
I know.
When you said,
I was saving it.
When you were saying, when you said we need more boatsmen, I'm like, oh, he hasn't said it, and then you're like, oh, nope, he realized he hasn't said it in a while.
I'm back. I'm back, baby.
More
we need more Highlander. Swords. We need more swords.
Well, we mentioned a sword.
Zach. Sword?
No, we mentioned Zach not having a sword. But he has a sword. It's just not out.
Yeah. It's a astral projection.
But okay, what you've made it this far. What do you think of this chapter? Do you agree with us? Does it need more Highlander?
More Highlander.
Does it need more boatsmen? And do you think that, based on what I've told you of how long the next chapter is, should it be included here? Knowing we haven't talked about what happens in there, but I think you can guess. But let us know down in the comment section. If you made it this far, we're assuming you enjoyed it, so why not go and smash that like button and do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe, because I got writing content on this channel. It's on screen now. But maybe you're in some mood for some terrible gameplay. Go check out Adam's channel. Adam?
ZOP Gaming. Check it out. Seriously.
They're terrible.
You know, we're above average,
But yeah,
which
check
is really not saying much.
No, you're almost at mid.
Almost.
Almost.
We're
But
close.
check out his channel. Find something else on my channel. Pick something. We'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching, listening. Bye.